Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman the Dark Detective. I believe this is Bruce Wayne from the Future State comics. I found my figure at Walmart. There was a pallet full of all the newest McFarlane DC Multiverse figures there. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batman Dark Detective. Here he is in the package. Looks like he has a grapple with a rope attached, a display stand, and a collector's card. One side of the package, Batman Dark Detective from DC's Future State. Other side, Batman Dark Detective. The bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. On the back side, here's the figure posed up, and here are a bunch of other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures you should check out. So no further ado, let's open him up. And I did end up getting two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete 6 and 7 inch unopened Batman-related action figure collection. And between the pallet at Walmart and my haul from Amazon.com, I got a ton of McFarlane DC Multiverse figures today. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does go on the display stand, a collector's card, and then a grappling hook with attached rope. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So let's take a look. Starting with his head here. Now, first thoughts, looks kind of dumb. Those ears definitely have sort of a monkey vibe to it. Now beyond the ears, everything looks great. Cowl, definitely sort of a metallic look. Looks very armored. He's got that sort of angry expression, and I mean, it looks good, but call me boring. I prefer my figures to be in a pretty much a neutral expression. Eyes, pure white lenses. And you can see the cowl sort of comes down, his ears stick out. Kind of see a little bit of the back of sort of, I don't know, his sort of chin line here. Neck's exposed. Going further down, he's got kind of a trench coat type thing, sort of flowing in the wind. Some shoulder armor. Of course, Batman gauntlets. Double jointed elbows. Looks like he has some sort of white gloves under his black gloves. Looks a little odd there. Armored suit. Of course, the bat symbol. Utility belt. Double jointed knees. Some shin armor. Not a bad looking figure. A potential future state Bruce Wayne. And now, a closer look at his face and head sculpt. He has that angry expression, some stubble or scruff around his chin. The cowl looks pretty good. Definitely sort of an armored cowl. One thing that I really don't like is the ears. From the front, it just looks kind of dumb. Now let's check out his accessories. Let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand. Black perfect circle. Says DC at the bottom. It's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin. Very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Bruce Wayne, the Dark Detective. Batman, the Dark Detective from DC's Future State. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. And then we have his grapple hook with attached rope. Pretty large hook at the top. This thing is entirely in black, and I don't think the rope looks that good in black, but it's not a bad accessory. Hook's quite a bit oversized compared to what I'm used to seeing Batman use. Here's Batman holding the grapple rope. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate about 18 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.2 inches tall. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head here. Can rotate from side to side. Pretty much stops where the jacket collar is. If you look up about that far, down about that far. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Give him a good amount of personality. You can hear how tight the neck is. Shoulders on a ball joint. He has these shoulder pads on top, but they're soft. They do a pretty nice job of going on top, but he's very restricted as far as how high they go. Not 90 degrees. If you pull higher, The arm will simply pop out of the joint there. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, although it's covered up with his jacket. You can kind of see it under there. It's the black part. Increases range of motion a little bit there. Bicep cut, but you get almost nothing out of it. I don't even know why they bothered to include that. Double jointed elbows. Not sure what's up with this white stuff under his glove. I would assume it's supposed to be there. Goes in about this far. His wrist has a ball in it. Can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. In his torso, he's got a ball joint in the middle, rotate around, forward and back. Another ball joint in his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Give him pretty wide range of motion, although my finger's pretty tight. His legs go about this far, not quite the splits. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation, just a little bit there. But this guy does have a thigh cut, which is pretty unusual for the McFarlane figures. Legs go forward about that much. Back about that far. Double jointed knees go all the way back. Then his ankle here has a ball in it. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt. Rock. And toe articulation. Here's the Dark Detective in the Batcave, planning to retake Gotham. And here he is on a rooftop, overlooking his former city. Then, here's the Bruce Wayne Batman holding his grapple about to scale down the side of the building. Here's the Dark Detective Batman meeting up with the Tin Fox Batman. They're making their plans to retake Gotham from the Magistrate. Now, here's Batman on the Drifter motorcycle. They make a pretty good combination. And the Dark Detective Batman riding on the Drifter motorcycle is a little bit different story. He fits on there, but it's not a perfect fit. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Tim Fox Batman. These are the two figures McFarlane has made from Future State so far, and I wouldn't mind some more. Red Hood is one I would like to see. Here's Bruce Wayne as the Dark Detective Batman from Future State, next to Bruce Wayne as Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. Both kind of bigger Batman figures, both have an angry expression. Both are Bruce Wayne for a potential future. And here he is, next to Omega. Omega is Bruce Wayne in a potential what-if future for Batman the Last Night on Earth. He became corrupt and actually became a totalitarian leader of Gotham City. Here he is, next to several different Batman figures. These are all from the comics. Then, next to several more Batman figures. These are from different various forms of media. Now let's check him out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to a couple of Lex Luthor figures. Then, next to Superboy Prime, and the Dark Knight Returns Armored Batman, Blue Edition. And here he is, next to a couple of Lobo figures. Then, next to the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn, and the Mortal Kombat 11 Joker. And now, next to the Year 2 Batman, and the light-up version of the Hazmat Suit Batman. Then, next to the Speed Force Flash from Zack Snyder's Justice League, and the Reverse Flash from DC's Rebirth Comics. And here, next to the Batman Beyond, Unmasked Batwoman, and the atomic version of Blight. And here he is, next to the recent released Batman 3 Joker's Wave. Then, next to all three variations of McFarlane's Swamp Thing Mega figure. And now, next to the Gotham Knights video game wave. Still trying to track down the Platinum Chase variant of Red Hood and Batgirl. And here, next to the Batman Who Laughs and Robin Crow 4-pack. Here's this Batman, next to the Ratcatcher, or rather, the Spawn Soul Crusher. And here, next to McFarlane's The Batman Collection. Then, next to the Dark Knight Returns Build-A-Horse Wave. And here, next to the Justice League Endless Winter Build-A-Figure Frost King Wave. And finally, next to DC's Rebirth, Batman, and General Zod. This Dark Detective Batman reminds me of the Year Zero Batman from DC Direct. And this is definitely not the only time we've had a Batman from a potential what-if future wearing a trench coat. Here he is, with a bunch of versions of the Nightmare Batman from Batman vs. Superman. These are from Mafex, Mezco, and Mattel. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want node shines you can mix it with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale, I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect and work way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane Toys. These are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST, or Diamond Select Toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles Batman figures. And here, with some NECA Batman figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 1/12 collective Batman figures. Then, with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse Batman figures. And here, with some Mafex Batman figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here, with some SH Figure Arts Batman figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a pretty nice figure, but it's not a great figure. Not really my cup of tea. I prefer my Bruce Wayne as Batman as sort of a more modern, normal version. I mean, it is cool to get the 2 main Batmans from Future State. His ears sticking out of the cowl just makes this figure look dumb, especially when looking directly at it. His articulation is also kind of limited, especially in the shoulder area. Beyond that, it is a very nice figure. Sculpt and paint job are excellent, no issues there. Accessories, it's okay. The rope. If I were to rate this figure, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's a nice figure, but not really a necessary figure. I have seen some pretty cool kit bashes out there, combining the Ben Affleck Justice League Batman with this guy to make a Batman vs Superman Nightmare Batman. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.